Each class who's going to help me with that, come up to the stage. I'd like to welcome you to please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. You may be seated.
D.A.R.E into the school. We've been doing so for well over 25 years, and we believe that it has an absolute benefit for everybody within our community. In fact, Officer Clace is a D.A.R.E graduate from our own program, and so is Firefighter Stotts back there. He's a graduate as well from our own D.A.R.E program. So see, you kids, if you want to wear a uniform someday, D.A.R.E is going to help you out a little bit. Beyond thanking the school, I want to thank parents and grandparents and others that are here today to support your children. It's a big deal. The lessons that they've learned over the last several weeks from Officer Sarah are important lessons that won't just help them today. Those lessons will help them throughout the rest of their lives. And so my request of all of you is to help reinforce the very important messages that Officer Sarah shared with your kids. Because if the lessons stop being talked about today, now that D.A.R.E is done, that will be a travesty. The dinner conversations that you have with your children need to reinforce all of the important messages that this program offers. Because again, together, whether it's schools, whether it's municipal government, whether it's families, we're all working together to help raise our next generation to be successful and to be healthy. So please keep the messages alive. And students, congratulations on your graduation from the D.A.R.E program. By a round of applause, how do we think Officer Sarah did? What do you think? I'm not surprised at all. She is a wonderful police officer, and she's an excellent D.A.R.E officer. So you're very lucky to have had her here at Sunset Hill. Principal Williams already mentioned this, students, but I just want to offer this idea up again. I do this at all of our D.A.R.E graduations. Those t-shirts that you're wearing today represent the lessons that you learned from Officer Sarah. And if you notice, it says Plymouth Police Department on the bottom of it, right? And we don't just give the t-shirts to anybody. They're only for our students that graduate from the D.A.R.E program. So again, congratulations. Secondly though, I want you to wear the t-shirts proudly, as Principal Williams said. Wash them once in a while, that would be nice. But understand that you are going to grow out of your t-shirt someday. Your bodies are going to keep growing, but the material that the shirt is made from is not. But when the t-shirt no longer fits, don't throw it away. Keep it in your drawer so that when you're in 8th grade or 12th grade or in college or doing whatever you're doing in life, and you're going through the drawer trying to figure out what you're going to wear for the day, every once in a while you'll pass by that D.A.R.E t-shirt as a reminder of all the good things that Officer Sarah taught you. So you promise me that you'll do that? All right, awesome. I'm going to keep my remarks more brief than usual because students, you're really lucky today, as is everyone in the audience. We have Mayor-elect Councilmember Washi with us, who after the first of the year will be the mayor of the city of Plymouth after serving on the council for the last several years. And we also have our current mayor, Mayor Slavic, who will be leaving the council after 20 years of service. She's retiring from public service temporarily, I'm guessing. So Councilmember Slavic served as a council member for 8 years, and then she has been our mayor for the last 12 years. And as somebody who works in city government for our city council, who supports this program year after year after year. We're very, very grateful to have the leadership that we have. So while we're very sorry to see Mayor Slavic move on to do other things, we're very excited and happy for Councilmember Washington, who will be an excellent mayor. But I just want to say publicly, I had a chance at Mayor Slavic's sort of farewell the other night to say some things about her, but I want to reinforce some important messages. We're all very, very lucky to have had her leadership. She is a bright, compassionate, responsive person who has done some amazing things for our community, and one of her strongest motivations are the youth of our community. So kids, you're very lucky to have her here today to address you. And Mayor, I just want to say thanks and welcome you to the podium.
Thank you very much. I make him say that stuff. So once, I think after January 1st, I'm not going to hear anything like that anymore, right? He gave me a hard time at my farewell, so I have to get him back. It's a pleasure to be here. It's bittersweet. It is kind of sad to be winding down as mayor after all of these years, but it's been such an honor to represent this community. I feel completely blessed and very lucky. And one of my favorite things I do as mayor is meet with school kids. I have second graders come to City Hall for field trips. I get to go to all the D.A.R.E graduations. I've been up to over 100 throughout my time, and I also go to the high school and speak to kids. So I think it's really important to connect with kids, teach them about local government. When I was a student, I never knew who my mayor was. I didn't even know what they did, and so I've always wanted to change that and be a part of students' lives. So thank you for that opportunity. Wayzata Schools, we really appreciate the opportunities, Principal Williams, to come into the schools. Not every school really welcomes that as much as Wayzata does, so thank you for that opportunity. And fifth grade teachers, thank you for all that you do as well. Parents, we are very proud of our police department as council members. I know I speak for Mayor-elect Washi as well. They're very professional, our firefighters too that are here. We have the utmost confidence in the work that they do. As a council member and mayor, we make sure that they have the training and equipment they need, but our chief takes it from there. His level of professionalism, and he demands the best. We're very confident in his abilities and appreciate all the hard work that our public safety does. I know Sarah might look cute and innocent, but this gal is really tough. Thank you, and also, thanks for the respect that you all offer our public safety department. They get so many thank yous and treats and accolades throughout the community. We're really proud of everything that they do. And as the chief said, please reinforce the D.A.R.E lessons at home. I remember when my kids were in 5th grade, they're both in college now. I always wondered when I would start hearing about this, I'm like, God, aren't they too young to get this message yet? But they're really not. I think it's really given to them in an age-appropriate way, and it's an opportunity for us to have these conversations. They're not always easy. I think that this level, at 5th graders they are, but as they get older, it gets harder and harder. So as a community and through public safety, we really want to support those messages. 5th graders, congratulations. I'm so excited for you guys. You guys are going to go on to do great things, and I really hope that you always think back to this D.A.R.E program and that it assists you, because as 5th graders you get to make, most of the decisions you make are pretty fun related and easy, but as you get older and go on to middle school and high school eventually, it's going to get harder, and you're going to have to think quickly sometimes and really process the situation that you're in. And I really hope that we've given you some tools to help you with that. Right now, you probably, the decisions you make are whether or not you're gonna fight with your sibling, or what you're gonna eat for lunch, or the attitude you might give your parents or your teacher. But you're gonna have harder decisions as that goes forward when you're presented with issues like bullying and stuff with social media and alcohol and tobacco. So please, remember the lessons that you learned in D.A.R.E and know that we've given you those lessons, but we also have our community behind you. One of the reasons we have our public safety come into the schools is we want to form your first relationship with our police and fire, we want it to be positive, to know that they're not out there to arrest you or to make sure you get in trouble for something you do wrong. They're here to, as I am and the city council, to support you and make sure you're successful. And we'll do whatever we can to make that happen. So, as you guys are winding down and getting ready for your holiday break, you guys excited for that?
Yeah.
Was it one more week?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, good. Well, enjoy, have fun, and be proud of yourselves, because we definitely are.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to our graduation. My name is Sarah Place, and I'm a police officer with the City of Plymouth. And I have been a police officer for almost 6 years. January, 6 years for me as a licensed police officer. So my main job is to serve the City of Plymouth by responding to emergency calls. However, I also have another very important job, and that's the job of a D.A.R.E officer. As a D.A.R.E officer, my job is to help educate our youth through the D.A.R.E program. And these students have worked very hard over the last 10 weeks, and I'm very proud to be here with them today as they graduate from our program. So a little bit about D.A.R.E. It started in 1983 as a substance abuse prevention education program, and today the mission of D.A.R.E. is teaching students good decision-making skills to help them lead safe and healthy lives. D.A.R.E. has been so successful that it is currently being implemented in 75% of our nation's school districts and in more than 52 countries around the world. I myself, like the chief talked about, I myself graduated from D.A.R.E. when I was in 5th grade. I still remember my D.A.R.E. officer, her name was Officer Gottwald, and I grew up in Plymouth. I went to Plymouth Creek Elementary School, East Middle School, and I graduated out of Wayzata High School. So I'm very honored and proud to serve the community that I grew up in. This is a very good city and safe community, and so I love being able to come back and now teach D.A.R.E., which I once went through myself. So D.A.R.E. is 10 weeks, and it's taught by a licensed police officer, which teaches students a variety of lessons revolving around self-awareness and management, responsible decision-making, understanding others, relationship and communication skills, and handling responsibilities and challenges. So in order to become a D.A.R.E. officer, each police officer, has to attend a 2-week course where we learn the entire D.A.R.E. program. So we actually go through the lessons that we are now teaching, which also includes licensed grown adult police officers getting up in front of each other and making up our own songs and singing and dancing and making skits. So I would like to just take a moment of silence for our egos that were a little bit bruised by the time we graduated. But in all joking aside, I realize why now, after teaching D.A.R.E. for 3.5 years, why they had us do that and get up in front of other licensed police officers and laugh and dance and make fun of ourselves. For me personally, D.A.R.E. is about creating a safe and fun environment for our youth to learn how to handle difficult situations that they may encounter as they progress through life. But it also gives me a very unique opportunity to get to know the future of my community, and it provides the 5th graders the opportunity to get to know me on a personal level and who's really behind the badge that I wear so proudly on my chest. Each week I would teach the students a lesson that was based on certain topics. A few of the topics that we covered were the effects of drugs and alcohol in our lives and in our bodies, risks and consequences of our decisions, peer pressure, bullying, and helping others. Each week, the students would use a tool called the D.A.R.E. decision-making model to help them make safe and responsible decisions. When they are presented with difficult situations or a challenge, they can use this tool to define, assess, respond, and evaluate their decisions to best make the responsible choice. To the teachers and faculty, I would like to thank you for supporting these students and giving them a foundation to build on as they progress through their education. Without your support, I wouldn't be able to come into the school and teach D.A.R.E. To the parents and family of my D.A.R.E. students, the journey for your children is just beginning. They will need a strong support system, good role models, and guidance as they move through life and become the young men and women of our community. I trust that you will empower your children to take positive risks in their lives while still making safe and responsible choices. And to my D.A.R.E. students, I am very proud of each and every one of you. As you move on in your lives, I hope that you will use the things that you have learned over the last 10 weeks to become good citizens in your community, and that you will always strive to make a difference. It has been an honor to teach each of you, and I congratulate you all on completing the D.A.R.E. program. At the end of D.A.R.E, each student was given an assignment to write an essay. I asked them to write about what they learned in D.A.R.E and what D.A.R.E meant to them. So after reading over 100 D.A.R.E essays, one student from each classroom was chosen to read their essays for you guys today. So I would like to ask those 4 students to join me on stage to come and read your essays.
I'm Brady from Finn's class, and yeah, here's my essay. D.A.R.E helped me to realize just how bad alcohol, tobacco, and bullying are. It also taught me how to make decisions, even when you're under pressure. I used to be ignorant to the fact that alcohol and tobacco were so bad for your health and took over so many things, like your thinking, breathing, memory, and even your heart. But D.A.R.E taught me all of that and more. I now know how important all of these topics are. One of these important topics is the DDMM. The D.A.R.E Decision-Making Model, or DDMM, helped me to be able to make decisions easier when I'm under pressure. It tells me to first define the situation that I'm in. Then I assess all my choices or think about all the things I can do in the situation. Then I respond and make my decision based on the choice I think is best. Then I evaluate my decision and make sure my choice was the right one. I personally think this is the best way to make decisions that I've found so far, and I think I'll have to use this a lot in the future. Violence and bullying are some of the worst things you can do for your community. It not only empties the victim's bucket, but it slowly empties the bully's bucket too. Kindness, therefore, is the opposite. It helps you and the other person feel better. I have learned that if you are a witness to bullying, you should report it immediately. You are responsible for some of it if you just stand there, do nothing, and let it happen. The best thing the witness can do is report. If you report, you can help stop the bully and make the community a bit better. I once saw someone get punched in the face. I immediately thought to report it to a trusted adult. When you do that, it's basically community service because you're helping the community and making someone feel better. If you smoke, use drugs, drink alcohol, or use tobacco, you're doing bad for your body. Some of the health effects of tobacco are stained teeth, lung cancer, and colds. Some effects of alcohol are unclear thinking, less blood getting pumped from your heart, and coordination loss in your whole body. I personally think that cigarettes should be illegal in stores because of the damage they do to your body. But because people are so addicted to them, they keep coming back and back until they're either lucky enough to be able to stop or unlucky enough to get lung cancer. Alcohol is the same way in the fact that either you stop at the right time or it will take over. If you drink too much alcohol, you lose control of your body and actions. Don't let alcohol or tobacco take over your life. A really good way to stay away from tobacco as a kid is to stay away from people using it. Let's say Bob walked over to his friends one day and they were smoking. Maybe they would even ask him to join them. Following the DDMM, he can make his decision of whether or not he wanted to join his friends. Some of his choices would be to walk away, he could say no and provide a suggestion of another thing they could do, he could say yes, or he could tell them the effects of smoking and try to convince them to give up. In my opinion, the best thing Bob could do would be say no and suggest another thing. If his friends kept smoking, then he could walk away. Walking away is one of the many resistance strategies you can do to resist or try to convince the other people that what they're doing is a bad idea. In Bob's case, he would be under peer pressure or pressure from other people about your age. These resistance strategies are very useful to get out of this situation and move on with your life. To me, D.A.R.E seems like a program that would like to help tons of people my age. I learned so much from D.A.R.E, and I now know to avoid tobacco and alcohol wherever I am and how to avoid it. Finally, I pledge to be drug and tobacco free, to do my hardest to reduce violence and bullying in whatever community I am in.
Akshara from Mrs. Baker's class. Did you know that 60% of boys that were bullied from 1st to 9th grade were convicted for at least one crime by the age 24? Also, about 50% of high school seniors do not think it is harmful to try cocaine. Did you also know that most bad decisions are made when people are tired? These are just a few of the things that I learned from D.A.R.E. D.A.R.E stands for Drug Abuse Resistance Education. For the past 2 months in D.A.R.E, we have learned about bullying, alcohol and drugs, making good choices, and much more. I learned the 4 types of bullying: verbal, physical, cyber, and social. The most common type of bullying is cyberbullying. It is the most common because people are most comfortable behind a screen, so nobody knows who they are. Also, we learn about bystanders and upstanders. A bystander is a person who sees someone getting bullied and has the opportunity to get involved. But an upstander is a person who sees that someone is getting bullied and they stand up for them. Officer Sarah has taught us about the 5 W's to report bullying. She should tell a trusted adult the answer to these 5 questions. Who is being bullied? What happened? When did it happen? Where did it happen? And why do you think it's happening? Bullying is a big problem. We should all try to help and stop it. Alcohol and drugs can be very dangerous. D.A.R.E has taught me that if you say only one time to drugs and alcohol, you can get very addicted. Imagine this situation. You are walking back home from school when you see some of your friends. You walk over to them and ask them what they're doing. Then you realize they're smoking. You know your mom would never let you smoke, but you still stay with your friends. One of your friends puts out their hand to give you a cigarette. You say no because you know your mom would get mad. Your friends start trying to convince you just to do it. It takes a while, but you finally say that you will do it only once. Once you try, you get really addicted. After that one day, you start hanging out with your friends every day just after school just to smoke. Since then, your mom has realized that you've been coming home late and smelling bad. That is one of the effects of smoking. Some other effects that I learned about are yellow teeth, bad breath, more colds than usual, and many more. Now that I've learned about drugs, I know that it can be very addictive and dangerous. Making good choices, it can be very challenging. In D.A.R.E, we learned the D.A.R.E decision-making model, also known as DDMM. The D.A.R.E decision-making model steps are define, assess, respond, and evaluate. Define is where you describe the problem, assess is when you say some of your options, respond is when you make your choice, and evaluate means to think about your decision and see if you made a good choice. Most days in D.A.R.E, we have to answer a problem in our D.A.R.E books. We use the D.A.R.E decision-making model to answer the problem. Another thing we learned in D.A.R.E were some resistance strategies. The 5 strategies we learned were avoiding the situation, walking away, saying no, giving an excuse, and changing the subject. And at the end of every D.A.R.E lesson, we all said, what would Officer Sarah do? We said that so if we were in a tough situation, we could think about what Officer Sarah would do if she was in that situation. It also helps everyone to remember the D.A.R.E decision-making model. I know that later when I'm in a tough situation and need to make a decision, I will use the DDMM and remember to think what Officer Sarah would do. During D.A.R.E, Officer Sarah has taught us a lot about bullying, drugs, and alcohol, and making good choices. In the future, I will always remember what I learned in D.A.R.E because it has taught me a lot of helpful things that I can use for the rest of my life. I learned that I shouldn't try drugs or alcohol, mix medicine with alcohol. There are also many other things that I learned that I shouldn't do to stay healthy. D.A.R.E has taught me a lot of information that will help me later in my life. I pledge that I will stay away from drugs, alcohol, tobacco, and violence. I will make the best decisions that I can. I also promise to never make anyone feel like I'm putting peer pressure on them, and I will try to make others aware of the effects of drugs and alcohol. When I see anybody getting bullied, I will be an upstander instead of being a bystander. And finally, I pledge that I will be a good role model for others.
My name is Izzy and I'm from Mr. Peterson's class. I have learned countless pieces of information from D.A.R.E this year. It has taught me responsibility, respect, and patience. Officer Sarah has taught us about alcohol and tobacco safety, skills on avoiding peer pressure, how to use the DVMM to make good decisions, and how to reduce bullying in our communities. The dangers of alcohol can impact anyone, but it affects teens and young children the worst. Alcohol is illegal for anyone under the age of 21 in the U.S. Though most teens don't drink alcohol, some make the life-threatening decision and do. Teen bodies are still growing, therefore it can stunt growth and reduce the amount of blood flow to the brain. Alcohol causes at least 75,000 alcohol-related deaths each year. Tobacco isn't any better than alcohol. There are over 200 harmful chemicals in tobacco smoke. One of the most addicting is nicotine. In fact, there are over 400,000 tobacco-related deaths in America each year. 50,000 of those deaths are related to secondhand smoke exposure. It's not just cigarettes that are dangerous. Chewing tobacco has serious side effects as well. Too much tobacco exposure can cause wrinkles, circulatory complications, and increase your risk of getting cancer. Let's say you're at your best friend's 16th birthday party, and she and a bunch of your other friends are drinking beer. Your friends ask you if you would like a drink. What would you do? In this case, this person does something because their friends are doing it. The situation above happens all too frequently across the United States. Kids want to fit in, which means they are willing to take that one sip or one puff. Peer pressure is when you're being influenced to do something by someone you know. If there is anything you should take out of this paper, it's this: the DDMN. It's an extremely helpful strategy we learned in D.A.R.E this year. The steps of the DDMN are to first define the problem, then assess the issue, after that respond to the situation, and finally evaluate your decision. Bullying is never okay. In fact, some states have laws against bullying, Minnesota included. Bullying is an aggressive or unwanted behavior repeated constantly in an attempt to try to put someone down to make them feel better about themselves. Usually people bully others because of low self-esteem or are jealous of another person. Sometimes the victim can get so depressed that they even consider suicide. People always tell others not to be a bystander, but it takes courage to go up to a teacher and report what you saw. They might be scared the bully will go after them, or the teachers won't believe them. So if you see something, say something. 1 in every 5 kids has reported being bullied across the United States as of 2018. We as a community should try to change that. You can just pull the victim away from the situation or tell a teacher. It does not take a lot to make a difference. In the paragraphs above, I have talked about the negative effects of alcohol and tobacco, how to safely respond to peer pressure, using the DDMM to make responsible choices, and how bullying can affect our communities and our peers. With that being said, I, Izzy Min, pledge to be alcohol and tobacco free so that I can live a long and happy life.
I'm Gabby and I'm from Mrs. Seeley's class. The world is an amazing place with so much diversity in it. It's hard to believe that people can go up to one another and beat them up just because of their race, size, skin color, or how they look, how they dress, and just how they're not like you and the people that you're used to. Or that people are killing themselves from their addiction to alcohol or tobacco. It's hard to think about that this world could be so cruel. D.A.R.E has taught me that there are a lot of bad things in this world, and that's just a start. It's taught me more about bullying, tobacco, alcohol, and violence. But most importantly, it's taught me how to stay strong and learn to say no and to do the right thing instead of the wrong. And I also want to teach others to do the same. For some people, they think that avoiding alcohol and tobacco is impossible. After having it for the very first time, they couldn't go one single day without it. Most people who are addicts know that it's bad and they truly want to stop. But so far, it's been the hardest thing for them. When you're at a young age, it's important to stay away from any place or anyone that sells alcohol and tobacco, because you don't want to end up like the people who are addicts and the people that regret it. But also, you could end up in jail. Please stop yourself from possibly ruining your future. You never know what will happen. Bullying and violence is no laughing matter. It's when someone hurts another living thing. That could be physical, emotional, or how they communicate to the person whose walls they want to break down. Usually bullies have had a rough past, most because they were bullied themselves. They want others to feel the same pain that they did at some point in their life. To stop it, I think and feel that by everyone learning to not bully and to be an upstander could really impact part of it. But also, not everyone's going to listen. When someone is bullied or hurt, no matter what, somebody should run straight to a trusted adult to ask for help. People are faced with pressure many times in their life. but they never know how to stop it. If you know what the answer is, whether you want to do what they're asking you or not, is to say what you feel. If you don't know, then you can just walk away from the situation. I realize that it can be hard, but if you don't do anything about it, you will regret it in the future. When learning the D.A.R.E decision-making motto, it can help you with saying no to things that aren't right. It's also helping you learn to do the right thing and try to stop people that do it. Using the D.A.R.E decision-making motto in the future could really impact us someday, as long as everybody pitches in. You can use it when you don't feel safe or you feel uncomfortable, when you think that you should do something about it, or when you know what's causing the problem and you need to go and tell a trusted adult. That's how the D.A.R.E decision-making motto can help you in the future and possibly help you change it. D.A.R.E means a lot to me. It means that I'm able to do the right thing and not regretting what I've done for the other person's sake. It means that I'm able to say no and go to a trusted adult that can help me, and not stand somewhere defenseless and not knowing what to do. That's what I've learned, and that's what I plan to do, and that's what I will do next time something comes up. So I hope that I will be a role model and show other people to do good in this world, that I will always be alcohol and tobacco free. I would never want and never will tell anybody to do the right thing, to stay off tobacco and alcohol, when I would be doing it myself. There is something that is very important to me and always will be. A goal that I hope is someday achieved is that this world will be alcohol and tobacco free, that nobody will be an addict, and nobody will ever care for one swig of alcohol or one cigarette to smoke. I hope that one day everyone will be free of their addiction, that no one would even think about causing violence.
Also, shout out to the students for helping me. In one of our D.A.R.E lessons, we talked briefly about when you're uncomfortable or feeling stressed in your bodies, and one of the examples I use is getting up in front of others and talking in front of the class or a big group. So I want to just acknowledge how much courage it takes for our students to get up at D.A.R.E graduation and read their essay, so I just want to do one more round of applause for them. And then I'd like to welcome the teachers up to the stage.
We get to be first. Miss Baker's class, please stand. Come on up. Okay, Nora. Elise. Hannah. Noel, Edie, Nassau, Montana, Akshara, Minnie, Nick, Oscar, Sage, Tristan, Avshon, Julia, Rhythm, Mason, River, Ty, and Lily.
Mrs. Finn's class. They had to do a little wardrobe fix on me before I got up here today. Connor, Carmen, Allie, McKinley,
Crowley, Kibari, Brady, Anna, Darius, Ben, Brianna, Chase, Megan, Christopher, Dahlia, Seth, Molly, Kevin, Madeline, and Ben.
Mr. Peterson's class, please stand. Brianna, Anaya, Ryan, Greta, Isaac, Sam, Jaden, Oscar, Dasha, Damario, Ella, Chinmay, Aryan, Weston, Mylan, Reagan, Izzy, Mohammed, Samantha, Ethan, Boone, Julia, Matt, Nicholas, Shirley,
Mrs. Sealy's class, please stand. All right, Levi. Gabby. Emily. Eliana. Gabe. Gregory. Max. Marna. Damien. Elliot. Herschel. Max. Aaliyah. Carly. Avery. Aaron. Neil. Lauren. Jabbar. Sasha. And Jaden. All right. To end each lesson every week, I would ask the fifth graders to recite a specific phrase, which you heard in one of the D.A.R.E essays. So to end the entire graduation, I'd like to end with that phrase. So I'm going to ask the fifth graders to say it with me. What would Officer Sarah do? That is all I have. Thank you.